How can a president make changes to a law which both houses of Congress passed? Let's take it to the judge. Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano. In a vacuum, I didn't think he could do that. I thought that that was the legislative branch's job.
Well, your thoughts are correct, and your thoughts are consistent with 230 years. 230 years of the history of the way the Constitution works. Congress writes the laws, the president signs it, it becomes the law, the courts interpret it, the president enforces it. Not as he wants it to be, but as it's written. So the president cannot change a law, cannot change the terms of the law, cannot change the date at which the law begins unless Congress and the courts are willing to look the other way and let the president do it because it happens to be popular at the moment. But when the president sets his own date or his own standards, he's effectively changing a law which he doesn't have the authority to do.
I wonder if that opens the government up to any suits.
Well, it opens up what he did today to another challenge before the Supreme Court. Because by saying to insurance carriers, I now want you to go back into those states where you left and offer those sort of, how shall I say it,
substandard,
bare bones insurance policy, which he called substandard. And the insurance carriers now don't want to offer those because they still have to offer in the same states the Obamacare policies, which cost more, and they're not getting enough money on those. They will actually cause the insurance carriers to lose money. And before those carriers will lose money, they will sue the government to stop the government from forcing them to make these inexpensive ones available. He's really created a mess, a legal mess, a constitutional mess, in an effort to stem the tide of criticism brought on by his own insistence that if you like your policy, you can keep it.
He taught constitutional law, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I really don't understand it. Whether you were for this law or against this law, frankly, this is America. It doesn't matter. Because the House of Representatives and the Senate passed it and the president signed it. Now it's the law.
And the Supreme Court found it constitutional.
Oh, that's what I mean. So that's it. That's how the system works. There are a bunch of people screaming at you and your poll numbers are dropping. I don't understand. I don't get it.
This president, and in fairness to him, a lot of presidents have done it. He seems to be doing it more than anybody else. Thinks that he can change things on his own. Bomb Libya, kill Gaddafi on his own. Congress said, wow, Gaddafi's a monster. We don't care about that. We'll let him do it. So the more changes the president does, the more Congress looks the other way, the more the fabric of the nation is assaulted when the president is effectively rewriting laws because the rewritten part happens to be popular at the moment.
But does he have the authority to do this? Charles Krauthammer is a Fox News contributor, a syndicated columnist, and author of Things That Matter. Now #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list. That's the question, Charles. This law was passed by Congress and signed into law by the executive branch, and now he seems to think he can undo part of it all by himself.
Of course he can't. This is the usual lawlessness you expect from this administration. Remember, just a few weeks ago, he unilaterally decided to suspend the employer mandate. He has no right to do that. The executive carries out the laws. The Constitution is very clear. Congress passes the laws. Congress amends the laws. But he's done it now so many times that it's as if it's like the air we breathe. Hardly anybody even notices. He's a guy who unilaterally instituted the DREAM Act, a massive change in immigration reform, by simply having administratively telling the ICE, the Immigration Service, not to enforce huge elements of the law. And this has now become the norm.
He taught constitutional law, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I really don't understand it.